I think the market is very rich. I would almost go so far to say it's a little bit frothy now.
Yeah.
I think there are certain sectors that I think are that scare me a little bit. I think that both Bitcoin and ETH are a little too rich for my blood right now.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick between those two,
Yeah.
I'd rather buy.
Hey, hey, good people. How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Take a second right now. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and the notification bell. Now, of course, I'm shooting this one way before the market closed, so we don't know what the market is doing. I have a guest that I am bringing on, Tom from Tastytrades, and we're going to talk about the market and we're going to talk about the app, especially for those that don't have the 25,000 minimum so you could be a day trader. Okay, want you to listen to this entire interview. A lot of interesting topics that we discuss. But first, this is brought to you by Money Moves. Okay, Money Moves is going to be the top link below where you can follow my plays. We have a new portfolio that we are starting, and you can see all of the trades that I make, including crypto. And there is still an options for dummies full class there, so you could earn and learn, right? So again, I was not, this is not a sponsored video. I went to a Tasty Trade event, saw these gentlemen do what they do. We're going to discuss it. Was impressed, asked him to come on to the show and just discuss the overall market and talk about their app. Okay, listen, we need opposing videos. I'm sorry, we need opposing views, should I say, to everything we think in the market. So we don't want to be overly bullish. We don't want to be overly bearish. I like opposing viewpoints. So, you know, I play a lot of Tom Lee, who's a perma bull. And so now we need to listen to the other side from someone that's a little more cautious, and then you make your own decision. Okay, here's our guest, Tom. Clearly, you can see this gentleman with the Tasty Trade hats. If you've watched CNBC, you know, Yahoo Finance, Fox Business, you've seen this hat and you've seen this face. Now, this gentleman and his team came to Chicago and did a Tasty Trade event. And as a matter of fact, why don't I just play the commercial and then we'll let him open up.
There's a beast in the financial world, and it's not the bull. If that's you, join us on Tasty Trade. Genius loves company.
You guys have seen that commercial before. Tom, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Tom Sosnoff, and I am the founder of this company. I sold it, you know, a while ago, so I know I don't run it anymore, but I'm the CEO and founder.
Okay, so you're the CEO and founder of Tasty Trades. For those that don't know what Tasty Trades is, could you explain?
Tasty is Tasty started off as a digital financial network. We were actually the first streaming financial network on, you know, online, and we started Tasty in the end of 2010, early 2011. We went live, and in 2017 we launched the brokerage firm, Tastytrade. So now we're a brokerage firm and a network, a financial network that focuses on quantitative, probabilistic, math-based investing, and then we are a full-service brokerage firm that specializes in options, futures options, you know, forex, cryptocurrencies. And stocks, of course, but essentially we serve every customer, any product, any strategy.
So now, what's the difference in your platform? And let me say this first, Tom. Tom did not seek me out. This is not a paid sponsorship or anything like that. I actually sought Tom out, which is the reverse. Of course, you guys have heard me mention repeatedly, I've turned down tens of millions of dollars for sponsorships because I want to keep you guys fed. All right. And I want you to make your own decisions. Well, When they came, I saw him trade with a large sum of money to most, and they loaded the software and traded around 25 stock, all in a 90-minute time frame. And I thought it was really amazing how automated the system is. And so it piqued my interest, and I just want you guys to make a decision based on what you think and see. Now, could you go back to when you were in Chicago? I understand you do this across the country, and let the people know what you did live in front of everyone.
Well, so I should give you a little background.
Mm-hmm.
I was a market maker on the floor of the SIBO. I've been around a long time. I was a market maker on the floor of the SIBO from 1981 till almost 2000.
Wow.
So I spent 19 years of my life making option markets in the S&P. In 1999, we built a company called Thinkorswim, which is one of the largest brokerages. It's now owned by Schwab,
Yes.
but I was the founder and CEO of Thinkorswim.
Wow.
And it was kind of my baby. And we started in 1999. We were bought out by TD Ameritrade in 2009. And I left in 2011 or end of 2010 to build Tasty. So I've essentially, in order to compete with, big brokerage firms like, Schwab and TD and E-Trade and Interactive Brokers and all those firms, for the last 25 years, I've been on the road doing live events all over the country, all over the world, promoting our software, teaching people how to trade. We're primarily an options boutique, but we also, obviously do a ton of futures and futures options, and then a lot of other derivatives. And so I've been out there, promoting the industry for literally 25 years. I've been on the road, I want to say every other weekend for 25 years, which sounds crazy, but that's what we do. Last week we were in San Francisco. This week I'll be in New York. Next week in New York, the week after in LA. And I love being in front of our customers. And we have all these different shows that we've done over the years. And the one we're currently doing is a show that I started in 2005 or 2006. It started off as 40 trades in 40 minutes. And it has today evolved to a much more of a live trading show, obviously using our software. My purpose is not to make money or to lose. Obviously the day you were there, we made a little bit of money, but sometimes we make a little, sometimes lose a little on one of those things. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to show people that in 90 minutes, I can build an entire portfolio of non-correlated underlyings, including futures options, stocks, and obviously lots of stock options using multiple strategies, and build, a 25 underlying position in less than 90 minutes using, in most cases I use about $110,000 to $140,000 in capital. But I'm trying to create a position so people can see what it's like to have a multi-strategy, multi-underlying portfolio for an active trader. And that's why I do it.
And when you did do it, you had safeties, you had stop losses, you had buy orders, all going at the same time. So it wasn't like you just took a bunch of crap and threw it at the wall. There was a strategy
no. This
in
is
the way
this
you
is
did it.
This is very orchestrated. It's very mechanical. We don't take crazy shots. We don't do insane stuff. We just do lots of stuff so it looks a little bit more hectic than it is. But remember, I'm kind of, I've been doing this, like I said, a long time. I still make about 100 trades a day on my own. Wow. So this is not that weird for me. I'm kind of a junkie, if you can say that.
You look like an old rocker that I actually used to rock out with. I actually was I know you hear that from musicians. You look like an old rocker that I used to rock out with, actually. Guitarist.
I hear it a lot. But, this has always been a little bit of a differentiator. People like us because, we're a financial firm and we're hardcore, but we're very different than any other firm out there. We've always been.
I could tell from your customer base. Number one, when I got there, the place was packed. It was like, and I'm going, this is like a concert. And they had it where you used to go and see concerts at, and it was
Yeah.
packed out. A lot of excitement in the room, and you've built a strong family and following. So that was pretty amazing to me as I walked through the crowd and talked to people. And it wasn't just a party, these people were making, serious money. Now, what was your focus on? First of all, I want you to explain the CBO. I actually rung the bell at the CBO with Mumu, but I want you to explain what that is, because my audience, we have a lot of beginners. The last 2 years, I've been more focused to people that know nothing about the market, but they're in the market. And then I have some experienced whales that follow me, right? What makes your app different, and what was your focus as you created your app?
Well, so my first experience building retail software, customer software, was, like I said earlier, building a company called Thinkorswim. And Thinkorswim was at first, it was a little experimental for us because we had never built customer-facing software before, and so it was a real challenge. And we focused on design more importantly than anything else at the time, design and speed. And at that point in 2000, nobody had ever done that before, and so Thinkorswim became kind of like a cult favorite. It's now the largest or second largest trading platform in the world. And when we built it and ran it for 10 years. Then we got bought out by TD Ameritrade, and then they ran it for 10 more years, and then they got bought out by Schwab. So that platform's 25 years old, and it's still Schwab's primary platform. It does most of their business, which is a real testament to how cool that technology was.
Yeah.
But, 17 or 18 years later, we built Tasty. And Tasty was kind of the next generation of what we thought a trading app should look like. Very simple, everything right in front of you all the time, multiple different looks, the ability to support multiple products and multiple strategies and make it all configurable by the customer, but yet really simple. And so Tasty has become the premier boutique platform in the world. And so we're, right now, our platform supports, hundreds of thousands of users all over the world trading. We do about almost 3% of all the derivatives volume in the world through that platform.
Wow.
So, so Tasty is, it's a boutique, but it's the largest boutique platform in the world.
So, like Thinkorswim, which you built, I like, I'm not deep into Thinkorswim. I don't have it, but I understand they have a phenomenal stock tracker. Do you have that in the Tastytrade app?
We don't have a stock tracker because we don't. Our primary focus isn't on just stocks. It's on everything related, more derivatives. But we do have a really nice platform for stocks, and it's completely free to trade stocks. So we don't charge anything. And the funny thing about stock trading is most online brokers like Tasty now, none of us make any money on customers trading stocks. We do it for zero, and there's no real way for us to make any money on it. We do it as kind of an accommodation, and so we make money if a customer borrows money from us or something like that, but we don't really make any money on. There's no transaction fees or anything like that. So it's really just a nice accommodation for people, and it's an interesting platform. For trading stocks, we have an active trader ladder. We have really simple interface for trading stocks. So the only thing that we don't support is like penny stocks, because we decided that there's too much fraud there, so we stay away from penny stocks.
Understandable. So you make your money, say, off of like a margin account?
We make money three ways. We're very similar to every other online broker. We only have three sources of revenue. We make money on commissions on futures and options. We make money on what banking services like for example margin rates or cash rates, things like that.
Right.
And we make money on payment for order flow for the option orders that go through the platform.
Correct.
That's in the option world. There's most of the orders, virtually all the orders, get routed to high frequency firms rather than to, direct to exchanges. And the reason for that is because we get much better fills that way. And so that's how the whole industry routes orders.
So you have a trade minimum per week for someone that has, say, less than 25K?
No, we have nothing. The beautiful thing about Tasty is from day one, we don't care if you have $2,000 or $200 million. We have every customer has the same. You can do whatever you want in an account, regardless of how much money you have.
Wow.
And we have no minimums for trading, nothing like that for any customer. The difference is there are certain FINRA rules around pattern day trading that everybody has to follow.
Correct.
But we have been working really hard with the regulators for the last 7 years to remove the pattern day trading rules. And I think they're going to be gone by the end of this year, which means accounts under $25,000 will be able to do whatever they want to do.
That's great. I noticed that you had some people from the CBO there. You had some regulators there.
Not regulators.
Okay.
But,
who was that?
We always travel with different exchanges because I feel like we're the marketing arm for the entire industry. And I want the exchanges to know who the customers are that use their products. And I want them to hear directly from the customers, hey, you know what? We need more micro products. Hey, we need more strategies. We need you to support better technology. I want those guys to hear it. And then they help with some of the fees. We spend, at Tasty, we probably spend $45 million a year on marketing alone.
Wow.
And of that marketing, a lot of it goes like the event that you saw.
Yes.
We have never charged for an event in 25 years.
Yeah. Can I say something about the event? I've been to a million events. I've put on events. And when I left, my mind was blown that it was free. I'll just have to say that.
I've been doing that, Larry, for 25 years, and we've been doing those kind of events, and we've changed the whole industry with that kind of event. But we are you saw it. We'll spend an hour before the event shaking everybody's hand, meeting everybody, answering questions. We'll give you a free book on what we don't charge for anything for an event ever.
I got a book, awesome coffee and pastries. I got a full book. They handed everybody a swag bag, so to speak. And I was waiting on, okay, where do I pay? And there was no payment. I thought that was awesome. I've learned a lot from you guys. I mean, that was insane.
I have so here's my business mentality. I am a huge believer, and I built $2 billion businesses. Tasty and Thinkorswim were $1 billion businesses.
Yeah.
And I built these businesses on one kind of premise that nobody else uses. It's called Goodwill.
Wow.
I am a huge believer in Goodwill. I don't like asking anybody for anything. I think that you build the most loyalty and the most business respect if you give people everything that you know, and in return, then you can ask for something. So what we do is we go out there and we give you a network, we give you live shows, we'll do anything. We'll answer your emails, and in return, all we ask for is, hey, you have a choice of platforms, use our platform.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's great. I get it. I didn't have a course. I didn't have a Patreon. I gave everything for 2 years for free. And I put out 30 videos a month. And so I get that business model. And it works. You build loyalty first.
Goodwill is so powerful.
Yes.
And when we built Tasty, and even when I built Thinkorswim, people used to say to me, Tom, that nobody can survive on a Goodwill model. And I'm like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong, because I think most people, genuinely, I really believe this, most people are good, and most people are very fair. And if you give somebody something, they will respect that more than anything else, and they will give you something back. And that's just the way life is.
Yeah.
And so that's how we've built all our businesses.
So let's switch to the market now. This gentleman, Tom, is not just someone that built an app and blah, 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 blah. I've seen him comment on CNBC a lot about the stock market and crypto market. So we're just going to spend 5 minutes and talk about the overall market.
Sure.
Right. So, I've been telling my followers about August and September, lower returns traditionally. And, we've gotten it down to, the weeks, first and third week of September being the worst. But these are just historical data. This is not 100% proof, but we have to have something to look at. And then, most are looking at a good end to the year, the market rebounding and going up, but the market is still just been upward if you zoom out. What do you got to add to the overall stock market? Where do you see it going for Q4?
This market has been, except for, obviously for April, this market has been relentless this year. It's been relentless for a long time, multiple years. We've had a few little blips in the last 15 or 16 years, but for the most part, it's been a buy the dip. It's been a very strong, we really haven't seen much of an extended correction outside of a few isolated, incidents. I think the market is very rich. I would almost go so far to say it's a little bit frothy now.
Yeah.
I think there are certain sectors that I think are that scare me a little bit. I think the IPO marketplace is bubbly, meaning that I just think it's in kind of a crazy little bubble stage. I think the AI marketplace is very extended and very frothy. I don't think it's as overpriced as 1999, 2000 and the internet bubble.
Yeah.
I think that was worse. But I do think that the frothiness we're seeing right now is something that, it should raise a red flag. And then the only other market that, so I'm nervous about the NASDAQ at these levels, mostly tech stocks, mostly AI stocks.
AI, big tech.
I'm definitely nervous about the IPO marketplace because I think it's so extended. And the only other thing that makes me a little nervous, and I'm a little bit different than most people on this, is, and I love crypto, but I'm a little nervous up here that there's too many longs in the world of, Bitcoin, ETH, and some of the other cryptocurrencies. I'm nervous about the digital ecosystem.
Could you explain what a long, for my beginners, are? Could you explain what a long is? And I agree,
A long?
100%. Yeah.
A long is just somebody that, so in this business, we like to use a bunch of different terms. And a long just means somebody that owns something. And in most worlds, that's kind of like passive, but it's somebody that passively owns something. You bought something, you own it. We call that you're long it. If you sell something and you don't own it, but we call that being shorted.
Sure.
So if you think something's going lower, we say you're shorted. If you think something's going higher, we say you're long it.
Yeah. I think the over leveraging of crypto is not good for crypto.
I would agree with you, but in the US, that is not a problem because you can't leverage cash crypto in the US. So it is a problem in different places around the world, but the primary marketplace is the US.
Right.
So we don't have leverage on cash crypto here. And in the other crypto markets, the leverage is pretty minimal in futures and ETFs.
So what do you see that you see this bubble? I believe that the markets are frothy, though we had to trade the market we're in. You mentioned over the last
Sure.
15 years. 2022 was a bear market. We know that.
Yeah.
But the market has just been going up, 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 and trees don't grow to the sky, of course. Eventually, things have to cool off. But what do you think about the Fed lowering rates? What do you think about Q4? And I asked you that, but leading into Q1 of next year, do you see a cool off?
Well, the Fed lowering rates is a foregone conclusion. I don't think there's, I mean, I think the Fed rate cut at least 25, at least a quarter point, but probably a half point in short order is
Hmm.
already built into the marketplace.
Yeah.
With the rally in bonds over the last couple of weeks and the rally in notes, I think I think it's 100% certainty the Fed will lower rates. I don't necessarily think that that's bullish, and I think that that might be the buy the rumor, sell the news, the nail in the coffin type thing
Uh-huh.
for the stock market for Q4. I I'm always nervous about talking about like December and January as being negative because those are tough months for the market to go down.
Right.
But October, November, you got a lot of downside risk, is my feeling. Um, I'm concerned about the how the market reacts to the Fed rate cuts, and I'm also concerned that there are a lot of longs and not that many shorts out there now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you said that because, when the market is down, everybody is talking about how bearish the market is. And when the market is going up, everybody talks about how bullish. And we play clips from Tom Lee. I love Tom Lee, but we all know he's a perma bull, right? And I like balance. So when I see something and believe something is going to happen, I look for the polar opposite and study it so I can make a balanced decision. Okay. So I appreciate you, stating what you see for the markets. What between Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm going to switch back to crypto, but between Bitcoin and Ethereum, you have all of the, like Bitmine, and you have all of the new followers or MicroStrategy models now that are leveraged to ETH. What do you think? Alt season haven't starting yet. What do you think is the best place to be between Bitcoin and Ethereum in this last quarter, or should we say before crypto summer ends and before crypto winter comes?
I think that both Bitcoin and ETH are a little too rich for my blood right now.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick between those two,
Yeah.
I'd rather buy Bitcoin on a dip than ETH on a dip because I think recently, Ethereum's had statistically a stronger last quarter than Bitcoin percentage wise. My biggest fear though is not my biggest fear in crypto is not Bitcoin or Ethereum. My biggest fear in crypto are the micro strategies of the world and all the copycat plays
Yeah.
because and I'm not very public about this, but I do believe that there's the potential for this to be the canary in the coal mine, but essentially this to be what takes the market down. I think MicroStrategy's game plan is so dangerous, and I think it's partially a scam. And I'll tell you why. It blows my mind that anybody would put money up to buy a convertible bond so that MicroStrategies can buy more Bitcoin, and they buy a convertible bond with no interest rate stated on the bond and no conversion ratio stated as part of the thing and put up billions of dollars. And other companies follow that same model, which is let's go out and let's raise money on convertible debt with no interest payments, which is crazy, and no conversion rate. And
Wow.
then when you look at the valuation of Bitcoin and you look where MicroStrategy is trading, it's trading at about 1.5 times the value of
Yeah.
its Bitcoin holding. It's
Yep.
why would you pay 150% over for something that you don't even know what your conversion ratio is? It blows my mind. It is something that I just cannot fathom why anybody would invest in that company or any of those lookalike companies. So, and I think that is the most dangerous thing about the cryptocurrency space are those stocks, not the actual cash crypto.
Well, thank you for being straightforward. Now, I've made a ton of money on MicroStrategy last year, trading it.
Yeah,
Hadn't
yeah, I'm
been
sure you did.
haven't been back out, haven't been back in, just getting back in because I see it as a swing trade. Longest it's going up, it's good. When it's going down, it's horrible.
Yeah, I understand.
As a matter of fact, it's at a lot of times it's leveraged 1.75%. And I agree with you that, and I tell my followers, MicroStrategy and BitMine are not long holds. They're not. They're swing trades. You ride the gravy train and you get out. As a matter of fact, you need to be out of MicroStrategy. This is Larry talking. Anything I say or Tom say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell, of course. Must do your own due diligence. But I personally think that you need to be out of both of these before crypto winter, because just like Tom said, the elevator ride going up is slow and methodic. But once that line gets cut, that elevator drops hard and deep. And that's what's going to happen to these, leverage plays, these convertible plays. But on the way up, there's money to be made, but you better have some stop losses set and you better have an exit strategy before crypto winter. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
100%. 100%.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm not going to hold you long because we do want you to come back to the show. We've had the CEOs of all of the Bitcoin miners, the top 5, they've been on the show. We've become good friends and have great conversations like these. And I want you to come back and we can talk about the market a little more. As my followers, is there a way, I'm pretty sure there's some videos out there where they can look to see how to use your app and see if it's a good fit for them?
Sure. You could just go to tastytrade.com or you can go to tastylive.com and watch our network. Everything we have is free, even our archives. We're the largest creator of financial content in the world. Wow. So, you can, we're a think tank in Chicago. So you feel free to check out all our stuff. And if you have any questions, you can always email me, Tom at tastylive. And Larry, I'd like to come on anytime. So just give me a holler. I do this for a living. This is the fun stuff. Talking markets is what I love.
I could tell it's in your DEA, brother, because he just stood on stage, and when I said he had people from the SIBO sitting on, and they were from the SIBO, correct? Yeah, and so they weren't regulators, but they were from the SIBO just to keep to see what the customer wants. And your partner's name, he fails my mind.
Tony.
Him and Tony, they go back and forth like me and Joshua, me and Keenan. But I could tell the way you just stood there with no notes and just spewed out so much information while everyone else needed computers and everything. And he literally set these. He had a mixture of stocks, bonds, futures. What else did you have? Crypto. You had everything in there.
Oh, we have everything. Yep.
Yeah.
It's everything, every strategy. We do everything. We want to engage people. That's what it is.
And, good people, not to overbrag on him, he knew the price points. He knew he wasn't just throwing stuff at the wall. So we appreciate it. You got a brilliant mind, Tom. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being yourself. I'm myself here. Appreciate you being uniquely you. And we will have you back soon, sir.
Thank you so much. It's been great. Appreciate it.
All right, Tom. Hey, good people, listen, leave me a comment if you want Tom to be back, if you learned anything from this, or if you want to check out the app, do just like he said, follow his instructions, and then just check the app out before you use it. Again, this is not a sponsored thing here. I sought him out after going to the event, and you guys make a decision for yourself. We'll see you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn.